As Higgins then went on to tell CNN, and I quote again, "It's all true. I can put up another controversial post tomorrow if you want me to. I mean, we do have freedom of speech. I'll say what I want." Unquote. Back with me, Reverend Al Sharpton, Eugene Robinson. Eugene, apparently the hood don't fall far from the robe in Louisiana.
No, it really doesn't. It really doesn't. Sometimes it comes down.
But can I just be real more specific?
Yeah.
Here's a quote from sane Clay Higgins. That's a quote. This is about how he voted for David Duke, the Klansman, the Grand Kleagle or Grand Wizard of the Klan in 1992 to be the governor of Louisiana. Quote, "Duke won't get the vote, but Pat Buchanan," remember Pat Buchanan, will. "Pat represents much of the same position," said Clay Higgins, "regardless of the fact that David's a homeboy and all that. The boy's a Nazi, and that's a real problem," said Mr. Higgins, who nevertheless voted for Mr. Duke for the governor's race. He also endorsed Donald Trump in 2016. Of course, David Duke, endorsed Donald Trump. Your thoughts?
Yeah, he's a Nazi, but I'll vote for him anyhow. Look, he sounds exactly like the white supremacist segregationists from when I was a little child in South Carolina. I mean, exactly like them. Some of them wouldn't be that blunt about their racism and their white supremacy. It's breathtaking.
And there's some, I mean, I don't know what's going on in Louisiana, Rev, but Steve Scalise once described himself, and he's number 3 in the House, as David Duke without the baggage. Okay, that's a guy who's very high up in the Republican Party. And now let you listen to Senator John Kennedy lashing out in a hate crime hearing, also from Louisiana. Here's John Kennedy.
Let me ask you one more time. You support Hamas, don't you? You support UNRWA and Hamas, don't you?
Sir,
please.
I think it's exceptionally disappointing that you're looking at an Arab American witness before you and saying you support Hamas.
You know what's disappointing to me?
I do not support Hamas.
Bring yourself
I do not support Hamas.
You don't support UNRWA. You don't support Hamas. You don't.
I was very clear in my support for UNRWA.
Hezbollah, and you don't support Iran. You should hide your head in a bag.
I don't even know where to go. I don't even know who is more racist, if Clay Higgins or that guy, Kennedy, John Kennedy. He shares the name of a great president.
I think that what is really telling is that none of these people have been denounced by the RNC, Republican National Committee. None of them have been denounced by Donald Trump. And all you have to do is reverse it. If you had someone in the Democratic Party that was saying that about any race of people, whether it be Arab Americans, whether it be someone that like Higgins, where he just outright comes out with his blatant racism, and it is become normalized by the leaders of the Republican Party and Donald Trump. Donald Trump has taken guys like Fuentes, known white supremacists, to dinner at Mar-a-Lago. So I don't know how many times people have to see the example of how they have tried to normalize racism, white supremacy in this country to understand what we are dealing with here. They're saying it out loud, and they're saying it consistently, and no one is looking at the fact that these are the people that are shaping the laws that all people have to live under. The danger that is they're not just guys on a college tour. These are senators, congressmen, and presidential candidates who are former president. That ought to be frightening to us.
The old Dixiecrats are the new Republican Party. Unfortunately, the old Dixiecrats just flipped brand names. I want to really quick, and just to say, it's not just in the Deep South. Real quick, Eugene, because I do have a question for Rev. You can go to Missouri, where they just killed an innocent man. They took a gentleman who should have been pardoned, Marcellus Williams.
Right.
The guy who didn't want to pardon him, the current governor, the Missouri governor, Mike Parson, he's a pardon machine, including pardoning the white couple that held guns at Black Lives Matter protesters. He pardoned them. And something like 80%.
This man who the prosecutors wanted to pardon.
And of the people he did pardon, 89% of the numbers that we could find were white. Real quick, and then I have a question.
No. Different strokes for different colors.
Very much so. Rev, I want to let you have a response to Mark Robinson. He made a comment that The cops should have shot you. Someone with the username Mini Soldier wrote in the comment section of a news article in 2009, if the cops wanted to shoot an elderly black man, they should have shot Al Sharpton. This is according to the Bulwark. The Bulwark was able to access these comments through a digital archive. I want to let you respond, if in case this was Mark Robinson saying that.
Well, this is where we are now, where you have someone who said that I ought to be shot. It would be good for the country. Not that I ought to be disagreed with, not that I ought to be opposed in whatever I'm standing for, but shot, killed. And we have normalized this. But this same man is now the lieutenant governor of North Carolina, running for governor, embraced by Donald Trump, called Martin Luther King 2.0. To equate Martin Luther King with a man that has not only said the most vile things about his own race and about women and others, but that called for shooting a civil rights leader, from my point of view. And we've heard nothing from Donald Trump. Can you imagine, again, if Kamala Harris had anyone that was supporting her, that she was running for office, for governor, that said anything like that about anybody in public, they would be calling, every editorial board in the country would be calling for her to withdraw from the race.
That's right.
This is a Trump gift. In terms of this is what he gives America. I thought we were bad when we had Herschel Walker in Georgia. This guy makes Herschel Walker looks like somebody sane.
Yeah,
Sure does.
indeed.
Let me just say quickly. Every time we talk about Mark Robinson, no relation to me. Okay, I always I want to point that out.
We are not family. Reverend Al Sharpton, Eugene Robinson, thank you both very much.